Hey guys, welcome back. So now in this video, let's look at some interview questions which are regarding closure topic, right? So one of the most popular interview question is for let I equal to 0, less than 3 and set timeout. Alright, so can you guess what the output should be? Yeah, it's very simple. It will be uh, 0, 1, 2 because less than 3. 0, 1, 2, or let me comment it out. So the output is 0, 1, 2, right? Now let's suppose I change let variable from let to var, right? So now can you guess what the output should be now? Oh, it's 3, 3, 3, all the 3 times, right? So it's not 0, 1, 2, it's 3. It's really surprising, right? So why it's happening is because of the keyword var, right? And this set timer forms a closure outside of it. So var keyword, what it does is that, let me explain to you in detail. So when you have var keyword, it does not care about the block because it is a functional scoped function scoped, right? So in this case, this is the global function, right? You don't have any function here, so global function. So var belongs to the global function. It doesn't have to do with this this block, for block, right? So what happens that when you do I equal to 0, first time I will explain very deeply, right? So please pay attention. So first time around, it's like this: var I equals to 0, right? And then second iteration happens, meaning second block happens, right? So in second block we have I equals to 1, right? Condition is still true. So let's start from the beginning. We have I equals to 0 and it goes inside this for loop and it schedules the timeout. So since it's a asynchronous function, so it's not going to run immediately, it will wait. So it will say, hey, please complete the for loop, then I will run. So it will wait for the for loop to finish, right? So we have scheduled a set timeout. So let's imagine it something like this: set timeout, and it takes the variable I. It doesn't take the value of I, right? Just remember that. Keep in mind. So when we schedule a set timeout here, it takes the reference I, right? So in this case, again, in the second iteration, same thing happens. It schedules a timeout, set timeout, and then it takes this variable I, right? And in the third iteration, we have another for loop, I equal to 2 now. It schedules another timeout, right? With the reference I. Now var I becomes 3. So it breaks out of the loop because condition is false, I less than 3. So when the loop finishes, then set timeout say, oh, everything else has finished, meaning all the code has stopped finished, has finished execution. So it's my turn to run. So it's now set timeout's turn to execute, right? So then what happens that you just remember that after I equal to 2, then I became 3. That's why it came out of the loop, right? So when I equal to 3, then set timeout is all these set timeout, these start to run. So it says, oh, now we have the variable var I equal to 3. We do not have I equal to 0, 1, 2. We have I equal to 3. So each set timeout takes the variable I, which is 3 now. So it takes 3 over here. It takes 3. It takes 3, and then we get 3 printed out 3 times. All right. Uh, so you got the idea, right? The idea behind it is that var keyword is function scoped. So it in each for loop iteration, the variable I gets declared again, and it overrides the previous value, right? So finally, when the loop finishes, then setTimeout takes the value of I, which is now 3, right? So I mean, in each setTimeout calls, the variable I goes. So this I variable, this is common variable. This is not a separate variable, right? It's not like this I belongs to this setTimeout, this I belongs to this setTimeout, and this one, and so on and so forth. So this I is the same variable, exactly the same. So after the loop finishes, var I equal to 3, and then the setTimeout takes this value, the updated value, and it prints 3, right? So now let's come to the example of let, right? So for example, we have instead of var we have let, right? So what happens? Let me run it first. We get 0, 1, 2. So in this case we have let. So let me write it, let. So since let is block scoped, so this block mean in this for loop we have 3 blocks, right? 3 blocks of for loop. So in the first iteration, in the first block, we have a separate I variable which only belongs to this block, and in the second iteration, so in the second block we have I equal to 1 which belongs to this block only, and similarly this I belongs to this block of code, right? So finally, what happens that we have I equal to 0, it goes inside the for loop, it schedules a set timeout, and that gets the value of I. And now this I is unique value. Now this I only takes the reference. Yeah, it does take the reference, not the value, but this I is a separate value, it's an independent value. So and then it comes to the second iteration. Now I equal to 1, we get I equal to 1. So in the set timeout it gets the I value. So this is another I value which is whole different value from this one. Let me remove this 3 from here now. So in the third iteration we have I equal to 2. Then in set timeout we get console log I. So this is yet another I variable. So this I variable, these are all different. So when the loop finally finishes execution, then this I gets value 0, this I gets value 1, and this I gets value 2, and hence we get 0, 1, 2, not 3, 3, 3. So that's what happens in case of let, right? I hope you got the idea. I hope you got the better understanding of closure now. And this is one of the most asked question in interviews, so you better remember it, right? So now let's look at another example, a more complex one. For example, I have a for loop, let I0 less than 3, similarly, and then we have another for loop I0, oh sorry, I have to make it var, right? So I'm gonna do var, no, let it be let this time, and then I call set timeout I, right? So can you guess what the output will be? It will be 9 times, right? So since we have 2 for loops, each running 3 times, so we're gonna have I printed out 9 times, and it will be like 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Let's see the output and test it. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Similarly, I 0 in the first iteration in the inner loop we have I 0, so set timeout gets 0, and secondly we get set timeout, the I gets 1, and thirdly we get I equal to 3, 2, right? Sorry, and then now we have 3 set timeouts so far. And now in the second iteration of the outer loop we get I equal to 1, and then I equal to 0 over here, so again we get 0 value, and then we get 1, then we get 2, right? Then in the last iteration of the outer loop, I equal to 2, a condition is true and it goes inside. Now I equal to 0, 1, 2, similarly we get 0, 1, 2 3 times. So this is the case as the correct output. That's what we want, right? Now let's suppose instead of let we use var over here. Now can you please guess what the output should be? Will it be 9 times or 6 times or 3 times? Can you guess? And will the value of I will be 3, 3, 3, or not? Let's check. Oh, the value of I is 444 and it's only 3 times. It's not even 9 times, right? As we expected. Like it should be 9 times since we are executing 2 for loops, 2 nested for loops. So, but there's issue over here. Let's discuss this. Let's discuss the concept of. Let's discuss the issue, right? So why var is causing only 3 times? So this is the issue with var. It's not an issue with our code, right? So first time around we have in the outer iteration, right? We have outer for loop and then inner for loop. We get I equal to var I equal to 0, right? In the second iteration we get I equal to var I equal to 0, right? So when we come to this inner loop, this variable var I mean the variable from the outer loop gets overridden. Let me write it. Variable from outer loop gets overridden by the variable from the inner loop because the var variable is the same, right? The same whether we use it in outer loop or in inner loop, right? So we get I equal to 0, then in the second iteration of the inner loop we get I equal to 1, and then we get I equal to 2, right? And then we set timeouts. Yeah, set timeouts are getting scheduled, right? And they set timeouts are gonna run when both of the loops stop to finish their execution, right? So we get I equal to 2, and then we get I equal to 3. So it breaks out of this inner loop since the condition is false. So then it goes to the parent loop, right? Outer loop. So now please pay attention what happens. Since the variable I gets overridden by the inner for loop, right? So when we go back to the for loop, outer for loop, I is no longer going to be 1. It's no longer 0 1. Like when we increment it, you must be expecting that it will become now from I 0 to 1. It will become 1. No, it's not going to be 1. It's going to be 4. Why? Because in the last iteration of this inner loop we have I equal to 3, and then this I variable, when we go back to the outer for loop, since we have the same variable I, then this, when we do I plus plus, right, then it becomes I 3 plus 1, it becomes 4, right? When it becomes 4, then we check the condition, right? That's what happens, right? First we check we initialize it, then we go check the condition, go inside the body, then we increment. So we have incremented it. Now we are checking the condition. So 4 less than 3, this condition is false, so it doesn't go into the inner loop now, right? So the outer for loop only runs one time. So let me write it. Outer loop only runs one time because condition becomes false when the inner loop has overridden the value of var. Then when it went back to the outer loop, then it said, yeah, 3 plus 1 is 4 and condition is false. Then it became false, so it didn't go into the inner loop again. So that's why we got only 3 set timeouts. We only have 3 set timeouts now so far, right? Set timeouts over here, uh, and then we have set timeouts over here, right? We will discuss this later. Let me type set timeouts. So in the 3 loop, we only have 3 set timeout, right? And these set timeout have as the I variable, which is 3, because I is same variable, right? It's not different. It's not a separate variable. It's not an independent variables, right? So we get 3 3 3. Sorry, we get 4 4 4 from all the set timeouts. So let me run it. Alright, so this is what happens with the case of where, right? So this is one of the most commonly asked interview question. So you must be prepared all the time when learning about closures. So that's it for the today's video, guys. I hope you like it. So if you Have any doubts, you can let me know in the comment section below.